I know you got talent. I knew that before you got here. It's just the other thing I wonder about.
What thing is that?
Pressure. Changes everything, pressure. Some people, you squeeze them, they focus. Others fold. Can you summon your talent at will? Can you deliver on a deadline? Can you sleep at night?
When do we talk about money?
Money? Yeah. Well, that's the easy part.
Okay, that clip that I just played is so important, not only with trading, but every aspect of your life. But in this video, I'm going to use it as an example for trading. And Al Pacino says to Keanu, I know you have talent. I knew that before you got here. Okay, a lot of people going into this business have a lot of talent. Some of them have 120 plus IQs. Some of them graduated from colleges. And some of them may have a parent or someone in the family that's in the stock market that could give them a helping hand, that could help them in this business. But talent is not enough. It comes down to pressure, because you could be the most talented person in the world, but if your work ethic isn't there with your talent, then you're most likely not going to make it, especially in a die-hard business like this. Now you have to ask yourself this: if you're losing money in this business and you've thought about quitting, and when you're down in a trade, when the pressure comes on, you can't focus, you end up folding. And when you have a bad track record, it's like negative energy. When you lose on a trade and the next trade's a loser, that negative energy just follows with you. Well, you have to be able to summons your talent at will, like he says, and you need to be able to focus and enforce it. That's the only way you're going to make it in this business. And you have to really gain self-control in order to make it successful in this business. Say if you're using a strategy and it's not working, maybe it's not the strategy, maybe it's the trader and how you're looking at everything. Because I'm not talking about stock picking, I'm talking about a real strategy that you implement every single day. You have to have a routine. You have to get up at a certain time in the morning. You have to work a certain amount of hours. If this is what you want to do for the rest of your life, you should have never contemplated on quitting. Because I've been getting a lot of emails lately talking about people are losing money. You know, how do you win in this business? Well, it takes time. And when you have people surrounding you that are saying, oh, well, you lost this much money, you're not going to make it, trust me, I've been there. I've been at the bottom, okay? And I've had to turn all of this around. That's why I'm trying to help you guys with it. So basically, a lot has to do with picking the right stocks, of course, doing your fundamental and technical analysis research each night, having a handful of stocks that you know everything about, that you follow religiously, that you have a little cell phone on your hand and you get your news updates every time the stock comes out with something. You need to know everything about the business. You need to talk to investor relations. You need to know the business better than the officers on the board of the business. And then that's how you make it, okay? I could show you a handful of traders that are some of the best in the world. I'm talking about the Tudors, the Paulsons, the Soros. And they made it because they specialized in one thing. And of course they've branched off over the years, but they've had people to help them with that. But they made their money through their niche. And it was one thing. That's all it takes, guys, is one specialty to make that winning strategy, to make $1 million. So for example, right now I'm long X, okay? We see it selling off yesterday, selling off to the 200, and I got long, what was it, Monday, or actually this was Tuesday, excuse me, right above the 200-day moving average. I got long because I've been watching this stock for a while. It's been selling off. I knew that there was going to be a lot of demand around the 200 moving average. My risk is clearly defined on this. My risk is 49.50. If it hits that, I'm out. This morning, I had a chance to take some profits. I am long the July 55 calls. Move over to an intraday chart. We hit a high today at 285 and I'm long from 250, so that's a 35-cent profit. Do the math, guys. If you have 10 contracts, it's $350. I believe in this position. You have to be able to see the future, okay? I see this position going to 350 to 390, all right? Then last night we just had some news come out from China. Once again, I'm laying in bed watching CNBC Asia, and I hear them come across saying, all right, China raises steel prices once again. So the little ticker goes off in my head, and as of yesterday I was down 30 cents in my position. So then I do a little more research, and I find out that some of the top analysts are saying they believe US steel's going to 60. So I'm putting a game plan together in my head thinking that, okay, this 200-day moving average is going to hold, and that's my strategy. I'm going to implement it. But it's not based on that. It's based on critical levels as well. Switching to the E-minis here. When a market is weak, what it will do is it will gap up, and then it will sell off during the day. If you're a day trader and you haven't been making money, I'm going to say it again, you can't summons your will under pressure. You really need to practice that, because when the market goes from 1316 to 1306 pretty much straight down, there's no reason you shouldn't have made money off of a trade, because majority of the stocks trade in correlation with the market. And if you want to know why that is, it's because these algorithms are linked to a per tick basis to the E-mini futures and whatever index they're in. My point being that the market is a little weak right now. All right, we did hold the 1300 level. Okay, we have a couple levels in here. 1298, which we tagged precisely before bouncing back up, so this is where you could have got long, and then we moved up. So right now we're trading at 1304. Now this is where it gets interesting. So just like I showed you here, a weak market will gap up and sell off. A strong market will gap down, right? Retest a low, shake all the lightweights out, and then they'll move back up. And then they'll actually finish off at the highs of the day. Another example I could give you real quick, Apple. All right, we gapped up on Apple. We sold off, we consolidated under the open of the day around this 335.10 level. All right, and then they closed it at highs. This right here, this move shows that investors are interested in Apple. Now we're trading at the 332, and this right here, this level is pretty much the deciding factor whether Apple is going to go higher or lower and lead the Nasdaq out of this slump. We're watching this level right here, this 332.52. Obviously, it's yesterday's low, and then 331.14. Now, this is the 1 hour chart on the right. We do not like when we approach the 336 level, we bounced off of it and we moved back down, because that's the 50 on the 1 hour chart. To remain in a bullish uptrend, you need to hold above that 336 to get going. Now, I'm going to tell you what I'm looking at right now. So, if Apple catches a bid either today or tomorrow, and they hold this 331.14, we're going to look at some strong stocks. We're really hoping that it's not going to slip below yesterday's low, but I'm giving you a worst case scenario. Now, if Apple gets going here, we're watching ACAM. Pull up the ACAM daily. Why are we watching ACAM? Okay. ACAM got brutally beaten down over its earnings, and actually they weren't as bad as everyone thought. We had the little false retracement here before slipping back down. This is where the smart traders got in. This is where they covered, and this is where some more easy money was made. Now we're at an important level in this ACAM. You're looking at the monthly chart, we see that we have not been able to really get and hold above the 50. But now we're at the 20-month moving average, and we're at the 20-day moving average. Let me zoom in a little bit. Alright, you see we do have us ascending 5 and 10. So we're watching the ACAM for a pop if Apple catches a bid. Next one, Nvidia. I really like Nvidia. Nvidia was my call over the past couple days. Looking at the intraday chart, I was watching it over here just on Tuesday, and I didn't get in, unfortunately, because it had a point move, and that's pretty big for a $17 stock. So keep this one on your radar. And then we're looking at Alcoa, and Alcoa beat on profits but had some lower guidance, and you see them moving down. So this Alcoa affected this FCX. So FCX is actually down 20% year to date. And just looking at the earnings of Alcoa really played an important role for this. So basically what I'm trying to say here is we just have to get one strategy and we have to stick with it. And we need to ignore everyone saying that you're a failure. You know, like Kobe Bryant, my personal opinion, the greatest basketball player besides Michael Jordan ever to walk. What he does is he takes what all the fans say in the press about him, all the bad stuff, and he hangs it on his wall next to where he does all his workouts and where he studies and everything. And every time he's feeling down and he wants to quit and he wants to take off early that day, he just looks at that little board. And that's what drives him to be perfect. He lost the game last month, right? And it was because of the refs. It wasn't even because him. But he said, I don't make excuses. Failures make excuses. So he was, after the game, at 1 o'clock in the morning, he's shooting baskets until 4 a.m. That's what a winner does. So guys, as long as you work hard and don't give up and just ignore everyone that's saying you're not going to make it, you will be successful in this business.